Good morning and thanks for joining us. On today's show, we'll learn how to make a classic treat from Joe Baker, and we get a sneak peek at a new line of footwear from Dillard's. But at first, Howard Wang's has been the staple for Chinese cuisine in DFW for over a decade. From its humble beginnings as a mom-and-pop restaurant to its expansion across the Metroplex, Howard Wang's has always been true to its roots and its family. From owner Howard to his son Yao Wen, this restaurant empire proves that through hard work, quality food, and great service, the Wang family will be treating DFW for years to come.
Nowadays, when you see different generations, they're all different in their own ways, but I feel like growing up in the Asian custom, you kind of were taught how to be more disciplined, how to work harder, and just being physically involved.
I immigrated from South Korea. My parents owned a Chinese restaurant over there. After school, I'm going back in the kitchen to help, to do everything.
I grew up in the business. Dad put me to work early, started washing dishes in the beginning and kind of worked my way through and been in the business ever since.
We used to have Empress of China in Valley Ranch, across from old Cowboy Training Center. And then owner of Cowboy, Jerry Jones, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, all those players used to hang out with us. So it's very coincidence that they approached us to open up a Howard Wang's over in Frisco. It's booming over there, so we think it's gonna be a good location for us.
Well, I think our food is all takes the Chinese. We have Hunan cuisine, Szechuan cuisine, Mandarin. Get a little bit of inspiration from all parts of China.
We're Asian themed.
Very diverse when it comes to Chinese food. I would say at the same point, it's also modern as well.
Beef tenderloin, sea bass, soft shell crab.
Can't go wrong, duck. We have a great Peking duck. We have our General Tso's chicken. I would say it's probably one of our staple dishes that we've had on our menu for family recipes for many, many years.
I'm glad it's coming up. Otherwise, I could not be growing like this today.
I was taught a lot of discipline in the very beginning, taught hard work. I think that's where a lot of my work ethic comes from, is from him.
He's taught me the front of the house, because I'm the back of the house guy. I'm a cook, and basically the modern style of front of the house is different from traditional.
When they leave our restaurant, I want them to have a lasting impression on it. I don't want them to think that they're just walking into any Chinese restaurant. When they walk in, I want them to remember certain dishes when they come in. Oh, I can only get that at Howard Wang's. I'm gonna make sure I come back for that dish. So that's the kind of impression that I want to have on these guests when they first walk into our restaurant.
To find a Howard Wang's near you and make your reservation, visit them at hwrestaurants.com. Now that we've shown you a great place to eat, how about a nice drink after dinner or maybe after a long day at work? Here are some easy to make options for you from Cool River in Las Colinas.
My name is Fernando Picasso. I'm the Assistant General Manager and Wine Director at Cool River, Las Colinas. I'm here to make 3 cocktails today that you can make at home, but we'd love to make them for you. First, let me make the first drink. It's the Dutch Mule. So first, lots of ice. Pack it in there nice. 5 counts of Kettle One citron. 2 cucumber slices. Lots of lime. High quality ginger beer. You can find this anywhere at your local grocer. Give that a nice stir. And that is your Kettle One Citron Dutch Mule. Drink number 2 is going to be from the movie Casino Royale. It's called the Vesper. So let's start with lots of ice in the shaker. This is actually going to be made with gin and vodka. So we need 1.5 ounces of Kettle One vodka, 1.5 ounces of Tanqueray. You can use any gin, but I prefer Tanqueray. And a wine from France is an after-dinner drink, but makes a great mixer, Lillet. So about 3/4 of an ounce. We're going to give this a nice shake. Strain. And a lemon twist. Enjoy. Third drink today, we're going to make a dark and stormy. It's a variation of the mule, but for guests who don't care for vodka or gin or whiskey, today we're using Ron Zacapa. It's a 23-year aged rum. We're going to shake that. Lots of ice in the glass. And again, ginger beer. And that is your dark and stormy. Thank you everyone for letting me show you how to make these easy cocktails at home, but we would prefer to make them for you. We have great happy hour specials, live music on the weekends. Come check us out. We'd love to see you here.
In addition to great drinks, Cool River also features a full menu and live music. To learn more, go to coolrivercafe.com. Time for our first break on the show, but stay with us. Chef Joe Baker shows us how to make peanut brittle when we come back. Today with Kandace is brought to you by Weir's Furniture. Weir's Furniture is family owned and has been helping DFW families create their own special style of living for nearly 70 years. With a visit to Weir's, you can pick from hundreds of items for indoor and outdoor living. And you don't have to drive far. They have 5 locations in the Metroplex.
We have specific recommendations on how much exercise one should get to make it a good exercise. You should have a minimum of 3 times a week for a minimum of 30 minutes each time, and you should get your pulse rate to a certain level, and that level is calculated by taking the number 220, subtracting your age, and then multiplying that by 85%. That's where you want your pulse rate to be during that 30 minutes 3 times a week. Now you use 80% of that number if you're older, let's say older than 50. If you're under 45 or 50, then use the 85% because your heart can take a little more pumping action at that point in your age. When one does exercise, not only do you lose weight and feel better, there's less depression, there's fewer auto accidents, people think more crisply, but there's less high blood pressure, there is less diabetes, there's a lower incidence of cholesterol disorders. There's just nothing bad about exercise unless you have certain orthopedic problems. For example, let's say you have bad knees or bad hips. In that case, you want to avoid the weight-bearing exercise like a treadmill. In that case, you'd probably want to use an elliptical machine or a stair stepper. It's less weight-bearing and you're not pounding the pavement with your bad hips and bad knees. So exercise regularly and you're going to be better off and live longer.
In an emergency, your most important need is time. Time saved in the hands of highly trained doctors and experienced emergency nurses. Time saved with advanced imaging and diagnostics to help find a solution quickly. No matter what hour or day, we are here for you. Because when your life is on the line, what matters most is time. Texas General Hospital, we care.
So here at Gonzalez Bariatrics, we offer 3 different types of weight loss surgery: laparoscopic room-wide gastric bypass, laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomy, and the laparoscopic adjustable gastric band. We also offer revisional surgery. It's important for me to be the surgeon doing the surgery because I've met with them in the office. They've gotten to know me, I've gotten to know them, and I think it's very, very important not only with the surgery, and that's also going to be very instrumental in their success after surgery.
And it's time for the most delicious part of the show. We're joined now by Joe, who's gonna cook up something yummy.
One of the southern classics is, of course, peanut brittle. Now, right off the bat, we can use any nut with this, but the recipe is always gonna be the same.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with clear or light corn syrup. I always like to add that to the pot first because if you add your sugar, which comes next, if you don't add it on top of the corn syrup, what can happen is it'll pack together and it can burn. Then we'll cook that high or medium, whatever you can actually watch. Okay. Now what we're going for here, we're gonna stir this to combine it, but we wanna make sure that we don't burn the sugar. Okay. If you had a lot going on in your kitchen, feel free to cook this over low or even medium heat. All of this raw sugar being exposed to the heat is a clear recipe for quick cooking. And we'll start adding the melted sugar to the still raw sugar, which will help it melt faster. We'll just come through and gently stir it again to evenly distribute all that temperature. Let it cook for a few moments, and once we get the ideal color we want, we're good to go. If you're gonna make a lot of this, it's smart to write down how long it took you to cook it. That way you have kind of a target to shoot at, if it took 7 minutes, if it took 10 minutes, etc. But what we like to call it is petite amber. That's when it starts to just turn kind of a golden yellow hue. Until we hit petite amber, it can kind of just do its thing at its leisure, but always stirring, distributing that heat. When we're at this stage, right before petite amber, everything is liquid, we have kind of a magma type substance, If you're using raw peanuts, that's the time you would want to add those. If you're using already toasted or dried or any other type of peanut, you'll add those right before you pour it at the very end. The corn syrup will of course keep this from crystallizing. If you're very averse to corn syrup, you can definitely use agave nectar or honey. So with our raw peanuts, we'll go ahead and add those.
It's a lot of peanuts.
It is a lot of peanuts. I believe that if you want peanut brittle, you're gonna want a lot of peanuts in there. So we're gonna toss our peanuts to coat them. You'll see everything will start toasting together pretty quickly. If you're using hazelnuts, those will cook very, very quickly. If you're using pistachios, those will go a little slower. But you can see I already have caramel developing on the bottom. If you get it on your hand, just be very, very careful. It is hot. Once we have even color and we have all the nuts coated, we can go ahead and add our butter to it. Butter is gonna help that sugar coat the nuts evenly, and it'll help give us that delicious flavor. If you don't want to use butter, you can use any kind of fat that's similar. If you wanted to add salt, you certainly could. Salt is always to taste. And again, that's where taking notes about how much you added and how long it took would be a great idea. So we're getting pretty close now. We're getting a good color. Now there is absolutely no substitution for baking soda in this recipe. If you don't have baking soda, just don't even start it. When it gets this hot moisture from all of the nuts and the butter, it'll start to foam. And that foaming is what gives us a chewy candy versus a very, very sticky candy. Now, I'm happy with the color. Right now I'm just still stirring to make sure that the heat is evenly distributed. I've already removed it from the heat. We've turned the heat off. The pot is plenty hot enough to finish cooking it. Then we'll come in here, we'll add our baking soda, and this is where we stir, 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 and you'll see it'll start to foam up a little bit around the nuts. When we're stirring, we want to make sure we get that beautiful, thick caramel going on, and you can see we have gorgeous color. We're very happy with the texture. I can just pour it straight out. Make sure that your surface can absorb that kind of heat. So once it's here, the best thing to do is actually to level it out. So I'm gonna ask Kandace to use the rolling pin here, or you can just use your hand, but it is very hot, so be careful. And just roll it out to the thickness that we want it. As it's cooling, if you wanted it to be extra, extra shiny, you need to start pulling it by hand. And then of course you can make as big or small a batch as you have space to control. And you see with the silicone mat, it just pulls away very, very cleanly. So we can just set that aside, let it cool completely, or like I said, if we wanted to, we can come in here as it's cooling and we can start to stretch the sugar a little bit, and it will get shinier and shinier as it goes, more glossy. And you can season it any way you want once it's poured.
Great, well thanks Joe, I can't wait to taste it. To get this full recipe and many more, be sure to visit our website, todaywithkandace.com. And if you'd like to learn more about Joe and his culinary creations, check out joethebaker.com. Break time again, but don't go anywhere. Jim Knox brings us a special look at the concussion protocol in sports, and we'll introduce you to the creator of the Daily Greens health drink after these short messages. This segment of Today with Kandace has been brought to you by the Best of Guide.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Hi, I'm Jim Knox, and a lot of people have asked me, hey, what do you do away from the ballpark? Well, I am co-founder of a company called Identity Media Services. Our Emmy Award-winning production team can brand your company with videos, commercials, radio, and television, and our digital performance program specializes in lead generation, websites, and reputation management. So if your business needs a lift, give me a call, because as you know, it is tough to stay on top. Whew, that's gotta hurt.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. Concussions in sports have been in the headlines a lot lately. While there have been advances in prevention, sometimes accidents do happen. But how do you know if your child has actually sustained a concussion? Jim Knox talked with Dr. Barisa from the Baylor Institute of Rehabilitation and brings us this report.
We are here with Dr. Barisa. He is with Baylor Rehabilitation, and we are talking concussions. A lot of parents are very concerned about this, Dr. Barisa. So we're out here at a playing field, and if someone's son and daughter sustains some type of head injury, you diagnose that they have a concussion. What is the next step? Do you take them through certain tests? What do you do?
Well, it's interesting. Concussions become kind of the predominant fear that a lot of parents have, and what we have to understand is as long as it's managed correctly, we're okay. The signs and symptoms we watch for are things such as headache, dizziness, nausea, vomiting. Those are some of the standard things that we consider, but one of the things we also know is in the acute setting, right when it occurs, we're watching for stumbling. We're looking for an inability to remember where they are, what the game score is, where we are in the game, what position maybe they've been playing, and what happened. So we ask a number of questions on the evaluation in terms of even awareness of what just occurred.
All right, let's see some of these tests. What
Sure.
would that be?
Yeah, one of the pieces we'll start with is we've just got their feet together,
Right.
and their hands are on their hips, and they look up, and then have them close their eyes.
Yeah.
And can they hold that? Okay, then the next step of that is we're gonna have you raise your right foot. So your hands are still on your hips. And then again, I'm gonna have you close your eyes. And you
It's
can
hard
see,
to do this, just
right, that's much more challenging.
Yeah.
So another task would be, we're gonna put your left foot behind your right foot
Okay.
in a straight line as much as you can.
There we go.
Your hands are gonna go back on the hips, and we're
Right.
gonna close our eyes again.
Uh-huh.
And that one's incredibly challenging.
Boy, it is.
And what we want them to do is actually be able to hold those for about 20 seconds. And we
Right.
count how many mistakes, how many errors that they have as they do those tasks. So that's a big piece. We look at coordination. The other piece I left off is we give them a symptom checklist, and it's just a number of items that are consistent with concussion. We just ask yes, no, and then we have them rate that 0 to 6. So in essence, we have a symptom checklist. We have some knowledge, awareness of the game, what happened with the injury, basic orientation, attention, concentration, memory, and then this balance assessment. All of that combined gives us a really good idea and a thorough assessment in terms of whether or not they're safe to return to play.
Excellent. Great information, Dr. Barisa of Baylor Rehabilitation. Appreciate the time. Thank
you so much.
Thanks, Jim, for that great story. We look forward to hearing more from Dr. Barisa on future shows. Our next story is about the power of green. No, I don't mean money. Well, not exactly, but juice. Green juice is a popular drink made entirely of fruits and vegetables processed through a juicer. Shauna Martin was so impressed with the results after her battle with breast cancer that she started her own juice company. Now, not only is she providing people with an all-natural, healthy drink, she's also turning green into green.
So I started Daily Greens almost 4 years ago based on my desire to bring a ready-to-drink green juice to the market. I started making green juice for myself over 11 years ago because I was diagnosed with breast cancer, went through 2 years of treatment, chemotherapy, lots of surgeries, and came out sort of pretty broken down and in need of to get healthy again. So I learned that by changing my diet and making a green juice for myself every day, I could really change the potential outcome of my disease and heal myself from all the chemotherapy and surgeries and everything that I had been through. The results were amazing, and became really healthy again very quickly. The problem is, it's a pain. Like, I had to buy an extra refrigerator just for the kale. I've got kale exploding out of my refrigerator. And eventually, one by one, my friends and family would, put their juicers up and say, you know what, I agree, this is amazing stuff, but it's just too hard, I can't do it. I would buy it if you would make it for me. So one day at midnight, my cousin and I made 60 bottles of juice and took it to the farmer's market the next morning, and it sold out immediately. And that was the day that Daily Greens was born. It was December 1st, 2012. So every bottle of a Daily Greens, the green juice, it takes 4.5 pounds of produce to make every bottle. There's no water in these, it's just the juice. We support amazing organic farmers down in South Texas, down in the Harlingen area. where we get all of our greens and most of our vegetables. It's important to understand what you're consuming, and we believe that we still stand out in the marketplace as the quality provider of green juice. Everything is always organic, and essentially we make the juice the same way I did all those years back in my kitchen. So we just don't cut corners, and that's the way we'll always run the business.
To learn more about Daily Greens and to find out where you can get yours, visit Shauna's website at drinkdailygreens.com. Time for our last break, but when we come back, Melissa Adair from Dillard stops by with a fall collection of shoes that you don't want to miss. Plus, Catherine Dunn shows us why you'll go head over heels for Jump Street. Don't go anywhere. If your business falls into one of our theme categories of home, health and beauty, or leisure, and you'd like to be promoted on our show, drop us a line at info@todaywithkandace.com.
Here at Gonzalez Bariatrics, we offer 3 different types of weight loss surgery: laparoscopic room-like gastric bypass, laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomy, and laparoscopic adjustable gastric band. I'm a board-certified general surgeon as well. We're here to help patients with all of their surgical needs, including possible hernia surgeries, reflux surgery, gallbladder surgery, appendectomies, the whole broad spectrum of abdominal surgery. We can help identify problems they may have and help them with surgical solutions.
Hi, I'm Jim Knox, and a lot of people have asked me, hey, what do you do away from the ballpark? Well, I am co-founder of a company called Identity Media Services. Our Emmy Award-winning production team can brand your company with videos, commercials, radio, and television, and our digital performance program specializes in lead generation, websites, and reputation management. So if your business needs a lift, give me a call, because as you know, it is tough to stay on top. Whew, that's gotta hurt.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi babe, how was school today?
Hi Dad, it was great.
Okay honey, I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Today with Kandace has been brought to you by Weir's Furniture. Weir's Furniture is family owned and has been helping DFW families create their own special style of living for nearly 70 years. With a visit to Weir's, you can pick from hundreds of items for indoor and outdoor living. And you don't have to drive far. They have 5 locations in the Metroplex. Welcome back. I think it's safe to say that I'm super excited about this next segment. Melissa Adair is with me today, and we're going to be talking shoes. Melissa, great to see you.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I mean, this really needs no introduction. I mean, girls talking about shoes, it doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. Well, today I brought Sam Edelman with me, and Sam Edelman is at the forefront of the footwear industry. He's so on trend, and many people will remember him as the designer of Sam and Libby, but it is really elevated into some great fashion footwear, especially this season. You know, I love going into fall with the boots and the booties and great colors as well.
Yes, for sure. So tell us about what you brought today.
Okay, well, I brought some great heels here, and I love, you know, suede is so big for fall, but suede with a pop of color is even elevated that much more. So this is a great little pump. And then we've got that flat that is a throwback to the Sam and Libby with his monogram there.
Cute.
And then I love the lace-ups. You know, you and I were talking earlier, the lace-up, the gilly, it was so big this summer, and it's going to carry over into the fall as well, just with the more muted colors, lots of olive greens and some maroons. It's just a great transitional shoe. And of course, it's got that chunky heel.
I'm starting to get on board with the chunky heel.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to walk in, and it's just really a functional shoe as well. And then when it comes to chunky heels, those are also on booties. I've got some great booties back here. I love this one with the fringe.
Yes,
you know,
that's super cute.
The bohemian trend is just not going anywhere, so you've got to have your bohemian footwear to go along with it.
For sure. So any other tips that you can give people when they're out there looking for great shoes for the fall?
Well, I think one must-have that everyone needs, it's a great nude pump, and you're wearing a great pair. I love those from Sam Edelman. Again, they've got the suede, and they've got a little bit of ankle detail. You know, in sportswear, we're seeing so much of the neckline detail, and I feel like ankle detail on shoes is just the exact same thing. It just parallels. So you've got a lot of the ankle strap detail. I'm wearing Sam Edelman as well with my animal print.
I love those.
And you know, we were talking earlier, the heels are a little bit lower. They don't look it, but they feel it, which again makes it that much more comfortable to wear.
Yeah, it still gives you that confidence and that presence, but yet it's not so high that you're going to be in pain, you know, in 2 hours.
Functional fashion heel.
Absolutely. And I understand Sam is actually going to be in one of the stores coming
He
up,
will,
right?
that's right. Sam Edelman will be at our North Park Dillard's location on Thursday, October 6th. He'll be there from 5:30 to 7:30. He'll sign your shoes. There'll be a gift with purchase, a really fun event, and then also a portion of proceeds are going to the Ronald McDonald Charities of Dallas.
Oh, that's great. How fun. Okay, well, very cool. And these are all a size 9, right?
We'll get some for you, Kandace.
Thanks, Melissa. Great to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
And finally today, with school in full swing, it's important to remember that weekends are for relaxation and fun. Here's Catherine Dunn with an idea for the whole family.
If you're looking for something safe and fun for the entire family to enjoy, look no further than Jump Street Trampoline Park. It'll have kids of all ages jumping for joy.
Jump Street is an indoor trampoline park established in 2007. At this particular location, we have trampolines that go from wall to wall that kids and families can jump on. We have a trampoline dodgeball court, so you can kind of have a chance to kind of have a little feud between the friends, the family, play with the corporate events as well. We have trampoline basketball, so where kids can get on a trampoline and slam dunk basketballs into a hoop. We have a mechanical bull. We also have a foam pit attraction as well. And lastly, we have a 7 and younger area for the little kids to play in while the parents kind of kick back and relax and let us have fun with the kids while they play. Ever since the beginning, we've kind of prided ourselves on the safety of the industry, and so with that, we use the top quality materials. We don't outsource any of our build-outs, so we have a construction team that builds all of the same facilities, so we're very consistent with that. Since I mentioned the 7 and younger area, we have children as young as 1 and 2 years old come here. We have plenty of adults. We encourage family jumping together. It's such a fun way to burn energy, connect with the family, have a little bit of family competition in dodgeball. So really, we don't limit anyone. So anyone ages from 7 to 77, no issue.
Are y'all having fun?
Yes.
What do y'all like most about Jump Street Trampoline Park?
That we can tumble around like we do at cheer.
Yeah. Are y'all jumping for joy?
Yes.
Are y'all having fun?
Yeah.
What do you like most about Jump Street?
Dodgeball.
What do you like most?
You get to tumble around and shoot hoops.
I would describe Jump Street as a place where you can come in here, have some fun, whether if it's with a family, by yourself, with your work, burn a lot of energy, and have fun while doing it. Getting on a mechanical bull, throwing a dodgeball, trying out a new trick on our main court trampoline. It's something where you don't realize you're burning energy and you're really connecting with the people that are here. It's just a lot of fun to be around.
Thanks, Catherine. Jump Street is open 7 days a week and even opens early on the first Saturday of each month for special needs kids. To learn more and find a location near you, go to gotjump.com. Well, that's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, if it deals with your home, your health and beauty, or how to spend your leisure time in DFW, then we'll be talking about it. Check us out at todaywithkandace.com and follow us on social media. We'll be here every weekday morning at 8:30, but if you can't join us, then be sure to set your DVR. See you next time.
Wardrobe for Today with Kandace provided by Dillard's, the style of your life.